Cream Report. M. Management Quality. The Board of Directors. Committees. SEBI. LODR 1727.
So far we have seen the theory of management. Introduction being given. A to B, there is auditors to bankers. SO is governance, subject-object, sub-governance methodology. And we have also talked about the FEC report, Fiscal and Ethical Co-Responsibility Report. What we are now going to give with this knowledge database roadmap of India have been given, we are going to take you to the next, the practice of management, for which I have selected Mahindra and Mahindra M&M, the last 4 years their performance. They are about big company with about 150,000 crores and with about nearly 260,000 workforce. So we're going to have a look at that, how it is going to be done, and analyze in terms of what the SEBI has come out with the corporate governance 17 to 27, in terms of vigil mechanism also. Many of the things I have taken from the M&M, and mainly the board of directors and the committees requirements are being taken from M&M. I mean SEBI. SEBI I have taken it. Let's have a look. In the practice of management, we got to look at the CREAM reports, which is corporate governance, risk management, earnings, accounting quality, and management quality. Management quality is the critical area where we have earlier talked about the corporate atomic structure. It comes from the society, from the regulatory and compliance framework. In this case, we are looking at the management quality, LODR 17 to 27. There's listing obligations and disclosure requirements, regulations which had come from SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. I'll just list it out, some of them, which is going to be further elaborated in terms of how they are going to be significantly impact a company. Number 17 is Board of Directors, 18 is Audit Committee, 19 Nomination and Remuneration Committee, 20 Stakeholders Relationship Committee, 21 Risk Management Committee, 22 Vigil Mechanism, 23 Related Party Transactions, 24 Corporate Governance Requirements with respect to subsidiary of listed entity, 25 Obligations with respect to independent directors, 26 Obligation with respect to employees including senior management, key managerial personnel, directors and promoters, and number 27 other corporate governance requirements. These have been listed as a management quality. As I said, is the most important aspect of corporate governance in terms of implementing within each and every company. SOS governance is in the other side. If you look at the chart, corporate governance and risk management. SOS governance is subject-object sub-governance standards, which I had explained in the FEC report. There are two areas, creative process and action process. We had discussed that thoroughly. LODR 17 to 27 pertain to the creative process, addressing individually 11 criteria set for the practice of corporate governance by the board. In addition to the following criteria set under LODR Schedule 2, Part A, minimum info to be placed before the Board of Directors, see Regulation 17, Part 7. Number 2, Part B, compliance certificate, see Regulation 17 in bracket 8. Part C, role of Audit Committee and review of information by Audit Committee, see Regulation 18.3. 4. Part D, role of committees other than audit committees, see Regulation 19.4, 24 and 21.4. Lastly, Part E, Discretionary requirement, say Regulation 27(1). Measuring corporate governance. Rules express the truth and justify the conduct. LODR 17 to 27 are the rules set by SEBI that number one need to be accorded the status of suspense of quality. Number two, the conduct of the board has to be recorded. We will take it up further. This is the initial area that we have to take into account. Let us look into management quality. LODR 1727, that of the board of directors. Is an interesting one which is coming here, which is differentiating between an object and the subject. The objects are the process blocks where it has to be delivered in terms of by the subject. So object governance is what we normally are accustomed to. Here it is presented in terms of the object and the subject governance. In resource area, we have a support team for each and every board of directors, office of the board of directors. There could be about 10 or 15, any numbers. What we try to get here in this particular page is there are SEBI introduced substance of quality being rated at the highest optimum level of 5. So which are being assisted in terms of the board of individual board member, understanding of each and every process block of SEBI's regulatory requirements, LODR 17 to 27. Now, if you look at the numbers in terms of the total number of regulations, there are about 19 plus 2, 27 process blocks, ranging from one ethical responsibility and fiscal responsibility, composition, appointment of tenure of the board of directors, board independence, and board business, which, as we mentioned, part A of schedule 2, the very many are what they are supposed to do. Now the totaling of that is about 475, and in terms of total number of 27 process blocks is 675. In 675 is how they are looking into the part of it in terms of deciding each and every one of the process blocks, directors induction, and how they are doing the work. That's the one in terms of completing that process block. Whereas in the index of inactivity, the resource area, if you see the difference, there are 5 different areas in which the support system that comes to the board. In terms of ethical responsibility, there is ER management. Then fiscal responsibility, assisting the board in terms of managerial force, operating force, technology, and finance and active, which are important for the purpose of the board member to analyze and arrive at the decision in terms of whether it is being conducted well as for the company is concerned. That is the business. That is the board business actual. There are quite a number. In this particular case, in this page, what we are giving is the optimal level. It is only recording. We are not recording the corporate governance. We are recording only the management quality, where optimum rating is being given in this case for each and every block because of the SEBI regulation being inducted into the company. Now assume one of the it is the duty of the assisting resource area or ER management or manager force, operating force, technology, finance, etc. These are the 5 areas which have been taken into account as a support system, as a subsystem. In this support system, let us say one of the finance area, one of the board business, like as we are talking about 19 critical areas, one person or one particular process block is not being given, like given to the board member to have a look at it. That 675 total process blocks, total value, which comes to 27 into 25 is 675. If one particular area is being, which gets you, when you have 675 divided by 27 divided by 5, you have the active area is rated, net rating is 5. Out of 675, if one particular process block, one clause not being given by, say, the finance department to the board, one of the board members, you have, instead of 675, you get the rating of 670. So 670 will be the active area. They have got well done in every other area. One particular area is inactive, that is 5. So total will be 675 between active and inactive. Inactive being only about 5 out of the 670. Which, what happens is that in these process blocks, when one assistant has forgotten or not given to the board member the particular area, that 670 brings a net rating of only 4. Optimum rating is 5. But by not giving a single this thing 670, because we are taking only the divide by 27 process blocks, divide by 5, you get only the integer. So your rating, the entirety rating, instead of 5 optimum level, even in the case of understanding and absorbing LODR 17 to 27, which ought to have been given 5 optimum, because of not having included in by one of the members of the assistants to the board member, you get the board of directors rating of 5. So this is very important in terms of what we are trying to analyze. In terms of, as I said, we are looking into the area where that is how the corporate governance comes into being. It goes by the rules, Newton's third law is being applied. That is, when there is a total 675 have to be looked into in the corporate governance. In this case, we will do that subsequently. I will let you know how it is being done. In this case, we are giving 675 out of 675 rating and getting a this board of directors rating of 5. In this page, we look at the committees, audit committee and the rest. There are 60 open-ended process blocks of prescribed duties and responsibilities. The committee members are aided by the 5-member resource input teams. Index of inactivity for process area and resource area are prepared as to the SEBI's regulations. So gets the optimum rating of 5. 60 process blocks would take ratings of 60 multiplied by 5 into 5 equal to 1500 points. That is to say, a 5-member team each gets on an optimum point of 5, totaling 25. It will avoid how these clauses are dealt with while measuring corporate governance by each process area and related resource area, as by whom it is being done. In corporate atomic structure, we said the society and the board form a partnership and play a vital role in corporate nucleus. The regulatory body's primary role is to cater to the needs of the society, giving an assurance that the laws and regulations are well tracked to their satisfaction. Society does not influence a company, but adds mass to it, which brings the stability via the regulatory bodies. In turn, each company undertakes the ethical responsibility to assure the regulatory bodies that everything is okay. This is the CCP, critical control point for the company in question. That is where independent directors come into function as a third-party assurance to the society. So independent directors play a key role in a company as Indian Companies Act 2013 and the Code for Independent Directors declares an independent director shall uphold ethical standards of integrity and probity. Although SEBI's LODR clauses are given a rating of 5, SEBI should seriously look into why accountability remains a daydream and ex post facto punishment is too late syndrome. Mere compliance certificate by Part B, Schedule 2 is not sufficient. Hence, SEBI's LODR 1727 cannot be given a rating of 5 as a substance of quality. Some of the critical control points which I have noted. Number 1. Chapter 4 states a listed entity having paid up equity share capital not exceeding rupees 10 crore and net worth not exceeding rupees 25 crores para C, D and E of Schedule 5 shall not apply. Why? Why there is an exemption? Governance is a dynamic function. The board of directors and the committee function as an ex post facto principle. Cases such as Piramal Capital, ex-MD Khushru Jijina, Anil Ambani being banned from the securities market, the colo facility to TMs in NSE collocation inquiry have clearly shown the ineffectiveness of an audit committee in an organization. It is very, very important how the audit committee have to be strengthened to a very, very great extent. Role of CRAs. By Dr. Virappa Moily Standing Committee report, the committee noted on the regulatory framework for that credit rating agencies have progressed from rating simple debt products to complex debt structures covering a wide range of products and services like securities, bank loans, commercial papers and fixed deposits, but question the role of CRAs in overrating the entities. Hence, LODR Chapter 4 should look into the capability of credit rating agencies in rating these instruments.